very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is One TV Global News. And first, the headlines. Buhari nominates 7 new ministers. A Nigerian population census give update on population housing census. Abdulsalami Committee decries vote buying. And Burkina junta holds talks with ex-president, plus other stories after this break. To stay with us. News. The President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded the names of 7 ministerial nominees to the Senate for screening and confirmation. The President's request was contained in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read on the floor at the start of plenary on Tuesday. In the letter, President Muhammadu Buhari explained that the request was in accordance with the provision of Section 147, subsection 2 of the Constitution. The nominees are Henry Iko, Abia State; Umana, Akwa Ibom State; Ekomakama Nkama, Ebonyi State; and Goodluck Opia, Imo State; Umar El Yakub, Kano State; Ademola Adegorege, Ondo State; and Udim Odu, Rivers State. Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday departed Nigeria for Kigali, Rwanda, to attend the 26th Commonwealth Health of Government meeting being held from June 20 to 26, 2022. Femi Additional, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, disclosed it today. Buhari will join other leaders to participate in the discussion focused on the progress and prosperity of the more than 2 billion people living in 54 independent countries in Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, and the Pacific that make up the Commonwealth. The theme for this year's Commonwealth Health of Government meeting is delivering a common future, connecting, innovating, transforming, and the heads of government are expected to reaffirm their commitment to upholding the Commonwealth Charter, which focuses on democracy, human rights, the rule of law, as well as economic opportunities and sustainable development. The leaders are expected to consider a range of topical issues, including post-COVID economic recovery, debt sustainability, climate change, poverty reduction, youth entrepreneurship and employment, trade, and food security. In other news, the chairman of the National Population Commission, NPC, Alhaji Nasiru Kwara, has announced the launch of a call center in preparation for the 2023 population and housing census. Kwara said at the launch in Abuja on Tuesday, the NPC has intensified preparatory activities for the successful conduct of the first digital census in Nigeria. He said, quote, "The launch of GC Integrated Call Center for 2023 census is yet another major step towards making the head count a resounding success. It also underscores our commitment towards providing demographic data for national planning." End of quote. According to him, the call center is equipped with modern information and communication technology facilities for video conferencing, emails, and telephony to facilitate effective communication for the census. He described population census as a people-oriented activity that seeks to capture the demographic characteristics of the populace across the length and breadth of the country. End of quote. In other news, as preparation continues for the next year's general election, the European Union (EU), in collaboration with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and civil society organizations, has taken its campaign for greater youth participation in the Nigerian political progress to Abuja. The campaign, titled Youth Vote Count, has gained traction as young people continue to mobilize online and offline for the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR across the country. Ola Luluami, EU Program Officer, speaking about the second stage of the campaign in Abuja on Tuesday, that the concert is a response to the apathy of the country's voters. To get more young people to get their voters registration card and vote in the 2023 elections, INEC CSOs about 2 weeks ago, launched an awareness campaign concert featuring different celebrities in Lagos. And now to Cross River State, where the governor of the state, Professor Ben Ayade, has said that the state will ensure that victory of the All Progressive Congress standard bearer, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, in the 2023 presidential election and deliver 100% votes for him. Speaking on Tuesday, Ayade expressed his commitment to the victory of the party at the polls, regardless of the outcome of the presidential primary which Bola Tinubu won. Ayade, while addressing the press at the Margaret Ekpo International Airport, Calabar, said, quote, "Based on the principle of our party, we will all work together to deliver him come 2023. Cross River will ensure 100% votes for our presidential candidate." End of quote. In other stories, Igbakpa moved a motion titled "Needs to Invoke." Raji spoke on Tuesday in Oshogbo at the town hall held in Osun. Senatorial leaders of the people living with disability, adding that the commission would pose people living with disabilities that would be engaged to places where comfort will be provided for them. Raji stated, "We have gotten information about those who are living with disabilities ranging from those with physical disabilities, the albinos, people with hearing impairment, people with visual impairment. We are going to engage all of them as ad hoc staff for this election." Meanwhile, the country director of National Democratic Institute, Mr. Stephen Snock, also added his view, urging INEC to ensure inclusiveness and participation of the PLWDs at the poll. From there, we'll take it to Osho State, where over 500 supporters of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, from the Boripa local government area have defected to the All Progressive Congress, APC. The defectors were received into the APC at a campaign rally held in Irabiji, the hometown of Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola. According to Ismaili Omipida, the chief press secretary to the governor, said the defectors attributed their defection to the convincing manner Oyetola has been managing the affairs of the state. While addressing the crowd at the rally, Oyetola commended them for supporting his administration and urged citizens who were yet to collect their permanent voters' card to do so, to enable them exercise their civic duty during the forthcoming governorship election. Moving on, the chairman of the National Peace Committee, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, and the chairman of the Transition Monitoring Group, Awula Razifanjini, on Tuesday decried the level of vote buying recorded on the last Saturday's government election held in Ekiti State. And a statement by Abdulsalami reads, "We strongly decry the incidents of vote buying recorded during the elections and urge the security agencies to ensure that investigations are conducted, that all perpetrators of the anti-democratic act are prosecuted and brought to justice with the provision in the electoral law. The practice of vote buying undermines the values which underpin our democratic life. It reduces the privileged selection of those who steward our Commonwealth through electoral processes as being transactional." The African Democratic Party and Social Democratic Party had on Sunday rejected the outcome of the election, accusing the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party of engaging in vote buying. However, the governor-elect Biodun Oyembaji had on Monday dismissed claims by rival political parties that the APC was involved in vote buying during the election. More news comes your way after this break, to stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is One TV Network Global News, and now to more news. We'll talk security right here. As reports make the rounds in certain quarters that the top officials of the Nigerian Army, Major Ujandie Jeremiah Udiadenye, committed suicide as he was being investigated by the Army Military Authority, have debunked such claims. And a statement signed by Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director of Army Public Relations, said Udiadenye had an unblemished career and was never court-martialized before his death. Having lost one of its finest officers, the authorities of the Nigerian Army feel deeply concerned that unscrupulous persons under whatever guise would employ such sad occurrence to malign their own army. Nevertheless, for the sake of posterity, it needs to be mentioned that the late senior officer had been unblemished career in the military and never needed to face any discipline process. The Army has set up a board of inquiries to ascertain the cause of his death to foster a recurrence. Following the release of 5 male and 6 female captives of the Abuja-Kaduna train adopters, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the armed forces to, as a matter of urgency, rescue the remaining Abuja-Kaduna train passengers who are still in the terrorist custody since the March attack. Buhari, in a statement issued through his senior special advisor and media publicity, Garabashiru, reads, President Muhammadu Buhari welcomes the return of the recently released passengers back to their families and loved ones, while expressing his solemn commitment to the families of those still in captivity, assuring that there will be no let up until they are reunited with their families in the shortest time possible. End of quote. Do recall that on March 28, 2022, terrorist attack a Kaduna-bound train conveying at least 970 passengers and killed 9 of them while adopting at least 62 passengers, including children and elderly. And now to Kaduna State, where more reactions have followed the attack on worshippers in Kanjuru, Kaduna State on Sunday, when 3 persons were killed and several people were kidnapped. Residents of Kanjuru are still expressing shock over the incident, which they describe as barbaric. According to Pastor Moses Idoko, General Overseer, Jesus Revolutionary Ministry, the attack showed that bandits were only imported into the country to wipe out Christians. Moses wondered what Christians had done to warrant the killings right inside the church, appealed to the relatives of the deceased to remain calm. He said Christians were facing persecution from every direction in Nigeria, especially in Kaduna State, for just no cause, as most of the attack doesn't attract sympathy from the government. Members of Red Chamber have alerted the military over terrorist audits in communities within 3 local government areas of Kwara and Niger State. The senators made this known during their plenary as they urged the military to carry out a detailed onslaught of bandit and criminal elements within Kahinji Lake National Park and identify communities. The affected communities are Kahama, Kurunzi, Yashihra and Burentin local government area and Wahawa Bahana areas in Niger State. This forms part of a resolution reached by the Senate after it considered a motion on the worsening insecurity at Kahinji Lake National Park, an essential threat to communities in Kahama, Burentin and Bogo local government area in Kwara and Niger State. Away from that, the Senate said these has led to people living in perpetual fear of either being kidnapped or being killed by armed bandits. And straight to Umuahia, Abia State, where pensioners have again taken to the street, urging the federal government to prevail on the state government to save their lives. Led by the coordinator, Chukwuemeka Okeze, the pensioners wore all black attires, wept and sang retributive songs, and they marched around the capital city to show their anger. Addressing newsmen on Monday, Okeke disclosed that 2 of their members died out of starvation as they were not able to buy drugs, explaining that it was only recently that the state government started paying some of the long overdue pension. Anti-graft agencies, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, has arraigned one Kayode Odeyemi, a 62-year-old retired former Deputy Comptroller of Correctional Service, before her High Court in Buari, Abuja, for land fraud. In a statement issued by the Anti-Graft Agency's Director of Media and Publicity, Wilson Uwajerin, on Tuesday, the FCC said Odeyemi was arraigned for offences bordering on land fraud. During his arraignment, Odeyemi pleaded not guilty, and Justice M.A. Mudugu of the FCT High Court, Buari, Abuja, adjourned the matter to September 19, 2022 for commencement of trial. Justice Mudugu granted the defendant bail of 1 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum, one of whom must be a civil servant residing within the jurisdiction of the court. In other news, the Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos State Command has said it would commence a 4-day vehicle inspection starting from Thursday, June 23rd to Sunday, June 26th, 2022, in order to prevent frequent breakdown of vehicles across the state. The command said it had concluded arrangements to carry out the exercise, which would be its second quarter free safety checks on vehicles across the FRSC formation in the state. The FRSC noted that the exercise would assist motorists detect different faults in their vehicles, adding that the exercise would include vehicles parked at worship centers and motor parks. The FRSC Sector Commander Olusegun Ogunbamide disclosed that at the end of the initiative, a checklist ticket would be issued to encourage motorists fix any defect detected in the vehicles afterwards. Let's talk business. The Naira on Tuesday appreciated at the investors and exporter window, exchanging at 420 naira 27 kobo to the dollar, at 0.25% appreciation against 421 naira 33 kobo traded on Monday. The open indicative trade closed at 420 naira 71 kobo to the dollar on Tuesday. An exchange rate of 444 naira to a dollar was the highest rate recorded within days trading before it settled at 420 naira 27 kobo. The naira sold for as low as 413 naira to a dollar within days trading. A total of 108 million was traded in foreign exchange at the official investors and export window on Tuesday. Let's talk health. South Korea has reported its first imported cases of monkeypox, becoming the latest of some 40 countries and the first in East Asia to have identified the disease. A South Korean national in his 30s who arrived from Germany on Tuesday was confirmed to have contracted the viral disease, according to Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency. According to the Disease Control Agency Chief Pek Kyang-karang, the patient whose identity was withheld developed a fever last weekend, and symptoms worsened to include fatigue and skin rash upon arriving at the country. The statement added that the patient reported to the authorities at the airport before coming into close contact with others and is now receiving treatment. In other news, the head of Burkina Faso Religiant Lieutenant Colonel Paul Harry Sadiogo Damiba has met the president of the overture in a coup this year for talks to try to defuse the political situation. Roch March Christian